Hey folks, welcome back to the back porch. Like my hat? I did not dox my kids' school. Folks, welcome back to the Pulse. My name is Matt. This is Crypto Heartbeat, and it is Saturday, June 3rd, 9 p.m. Central Texas time, and it is good to see you. Do not mess with Texan. Folks, we got some exciting things happening. You don't have to go too far to see that Texan is performing on the Pulse chain. We got ourselves a new layer one. Are you excited? I am excited. I'm so thankful for all of you. And I just appreciate this community. It is fantastic. But in order to kick this off right, we have to hear from the man himself. And this is like the weirdest video that has appeared here. Let me get this music off of here. So you probably saw this, but we finally got a video after 140 days from Richard Hart. And, it was on Twitter and it was 13 seconds long. And on his channel and everything, a lot of people, I think, thought it was a deep fake, or maybe he's being held hostage. So let's take a look at this. Share the screen. Richard Hart on Twitter. All right, here we go. Let's make this big. Let's turn it up. All right, here we go. Don't blink, folks.
Hello, everybody. It's Richard Hart here. I just want to let you know that the pulsechain.com mainnet has launched, and pulsex.com on that mainnet has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this, and it's finally here. Hello, everybody.
Okay, all right. So let's just take a look at this together. Richard Hart, plain background, got the jacket on. Interesting, black t-shirt. Folks, a different Richard Hart. He may be being held hostage. Blink twice, Richard. But at least we got something. At least we know he's alive, looking good, being, I think, pretty conservative. Perhaps he's taking a page out of Crypto Heartbeat's book, putting on a jacket once in a while. I don't know. What do y'all think? I think that's pretty interesting. 13 seconds from Richard Hart. At least he's alive. But folks, there's some other things that are happening in this Texan world, and I want to share that with you here. And of course, answer any questions. We may have some guests tonight. We may have more than one. We're just getting warmed up here. Actually, before I do that, let's say hello to you. Everyone makes fun of me for saying hello to everybody so much, but that's what this is about, folks. That's what this is about. Excuse my beeping here. I'm going to put this on Do Not Disturb. All right, there we go. Texas Live, good to see you. Hex Force 1 is in the house as well. Good evening, Crypto Heartbeat. My Online Ghost, good evening. What is good, everyone? And Samantha, thanks for being here. Hex Glenn, DJ and Dougie Peach. Is that RG3 the captain? Aye, Captain. Man, I'll tell you what, he had a 4-hour stream yesterday. It is so great to have RG in the house this evening. Evening to you. Oh, Captain, my Captain, it is great to have you in the chat. David Gomez, hit the like buttons. Kadium, hello from Florida. Hello, good to see you. KD, what's going on? Hey, Facing Reality. No elbow cough for me. Appreciate the cowboy hat, though. Gospel Preacher, what's up, Heartbeat? Remember me, the sheriff? Dude, you just changed names like Brandon changes beard styles. What's going on? It's the sheriff. I like that, Gospel Preacher. There you go. Hex Glenn. Yeah, you like this? I had to put something over it because it's got my kids, is doxing my kids' school, and all my hats are at the office. Isn't that hilarious? I'm pulling one out of Crypto Compassions. Look at this. It's even getting wrinkled. It's perfect. Facing Reality's here. Did you change a MAGA hat to a Texan hat? No. I'm just trying not to dox my family. Looking good. Congrats, Texan. Thanks so much, RG. Appreciate that. Everybody's happy to see RG3 in the chat. Dr. Pulse chain is working flawlessly. Excited things to come. Folks, this is amazing. And all the FUD that everybody has, I don't participate in any of that stuff. We got just plenty of time to wait. So what should we be doing? Well, one, we should be sharing it with people because this is like the most amazing opportunity in the history of opportunities. But folks, we got the rails to build on. Thanks to Richard Hart. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Samantha Hexclin, Crypto Heartbeat style, wearing a jacket. That's right. Right. You got the T-shirt on. I think he does it. It's AI. Do you think it is AI, RG? Do you think it's AI? If it's AI, it's a pretty darn good AI, in my opinion. But he was asking about compression for videos and stuff, and he did post it, and it's on his channel, and he did post it on Twitter. I think it's real. I really do. But either way, he put it out as an official statement, so hopefully we'll get more. But I'm just glad we get anything from Richard, to be completely honest with you. It's Eroy Slade. Good evening, Crypto Heartbeat. Good to see you, Tofu 369. When Texan 1 penny. Boy, I'll tell you what. You know, it's interesting. So I got into Hex 2 days before Big Payday. That was kind of my entry point. And I was watching Hexo. That's kind of how I got introduced after seeing it on a late night TV ad. And it's just, I saw that dump right after Big Payday. And I remember Ray and we'd watch it at the end of the day because he came on D Live, I think at 6 p.m., 5 or 6 p.m. Central Time. And we would watch Hexo. And I remember, got in before Big Payday because I knew that 30% bump was going to happen. And it dumped. And Ray, I remember telling me, he's like, dude, you need to buy some more. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But, who knows what this is all about? I didn't know anything about Hex or anything. And, of course, that would have been the good thing to do. Well, here we are again, folks. Here we are again. And it is exciting to know that we get another shot, right? That's what I love about this. That's why we need to be telling everyone we care about this opportunity. Because, what good is it to be rich if you don't got friends? You got anointed. Dude, do tell. Man, I'm loving this. I don't want to know what that means to you. Anytime somebody's been touched by the Lord, I want to know about it. Hopefully last name change. There you go. Hey, born again, my friend. Mobius, what's going on? Yeah, 1 penny Texan would make us all happy. Hexforce 1, is the Ginger going to show up? You know what? He has been invited, but I don't know if you know this, but Brandon's had a new addition to his family, and you know what happens when you've got that type of thing, like lack of sleep, and maybe he'll come in and say hello, but I don't have very high expectations. Oh, never. I will never show up. How funny! I didn't even see that. What's up, Rags? Good to see you, man. He's got things going tonight. So if we see him, we see him. It would always be wonderful. But I also put it into the Texan support chat, so anybody can join that wants to join from there as well. But we're going to be walking through Texan. For those of you who don't know, if you got somebody's like, hey, you want to hear it from the horse's mouth? Let's go. I'm going to share with you about Texan. I'm going to go back through it because I just assume everybody knows what we know, and they don't. This is new. Pulse Chain has created so many new people coming into the community, and love to share with people what it's all about. Can you correct me on a simple question, Matt? So we still can't buy PLS and PLSX, right? I did not make it into the sacrifice. Well, no, you can. You can buy wrapped Pulse on Ethereum, right? So if you have ETH, you can swap for a wrapped Pulse. You can take it across the bridge, and you can then swap that for Pulse or PulseX. So you definitely can. But when it comes to buying it direct, as far as fiat on-ramp to Pulse Chain, no, you have to use the bridge. But it's tons of videos about it. It's easy to do. But it's the gas fees on Ethereum that still get you there because we don't have a direct on-ramp. So Texan OG Day 1, I will be streaming with all of you here pretty soon, working on a Texan channel for YouTube. Fantastic. Well, what's nice about that is I'm going to be hosting here in the next week or two as many new streamers as want to, whether you started, whether you're planning one. I just want to encourage you. And I also want to encourage people, get your channel started so that when we do this together, we can encourage everyone to sub to everyone's channel, because I think one of the greatest things we can do for each other is help pump people up, right? I want to follow every single person who is Pulse Chain, PulseX, Hex. I want to follow everybody who's streaming. And if you're going to be we want to encourage you, right? It's hard to start a channel from scratch. I know. But if you got friends helping you out, like Rags was the guy. He's like, the only requirement he had for streaming was that I would shotgun a beer with him on stream. And so I said, all right, let's do it. We still haven't done that yet, but I'll tell you what, we get to a penny, he's going to have that Viking beard. We'll do something special. Excited for the bull market to start. Me too. Crypto Cat 46, thanks for being here. Hexclan, good to see you. Drinks are on me when we hit a penny. Amen to that, facing reality. That'll be fantastic. I wonder if it's going to be coffee the way you stay up late at night. Maybe a little Bailey's in that. Tank Crypto, good to see you, buddy. What is going on? An elbow cough for Rags. An Aussie here. Yo, what's going on? What's up, fam? Facing reality. Colette, question. I used Staker app to sack for Texan when I staked it using Gnosis Safe. How can I see my Texan stakes? So is it your Texan staked? Okay, so my understanding is you would go to Texan.cc. Let's see here. Let me see if I can share this to answer your question directly. Share screen, Texan token. All right, so you want to click the stake Texan button, right? And you want to connect your wallet. My understanding is, I think with Gnosis Safe, you can use Wallet Connect. And so the question is, are you having any issues with this? If you're having any issues with the staking from that wallet, I encourage you to go to t.me/Texan token, which is the Telegram chat. But I mean, you just go right to the D app, which is at Texan.cc, stake Texan, connect your wallet, and I believe use the Wallet Connect function. And if somebody else in the chat knows a different way to do it, let me know. All right. Yeah, you like that? That literally is a printout to cover up my kid's school hat. This is the only hat I had, and I was not about to do my hair for this stream. Sorry. This is in honor of crypto kindness on Pulse Chain. Oh, sorry. Yeah, same thing. Same thing. As long as when you go through that, it enables you to select which chain, and so you just select Pulse Chain. Okay. That's right. Yeah. Texas Life. Okay. Thank you. Same. Yeah, you definitely did smell the Bud Light. Hex token, what's going on? Pulse Chain, Pulse Gains. Let's look at it. Let's take a look at this. Let's look at this chart, folks. Because I'm such a great TA guy. I'm not going to analyze anything. I've been advised by my counsel, which is Rags. This is the 1 hour chart, but this is the pair of Texan and Wrap Pulse, and as you can see, looking good, and that is fantastic, right? So there's the daily. I think this one's probably just good to see this is the hourly chart. The folks, if you think about it, Rags posted something to Twitter earlier in the day, and he basically said, hey, if you're somebody that was into Texan and you got the copy, what's the value of both together? Well, this is already above donation phase rate as far as 100,000 to 1. And so, folks, this is the bottom of the bear market. And the beauty of this is, what is Hart's Law? When you're bonded with things, right, they move together. And so we're just getting started. But, folks, the best time to be in anything, I'm just so thankful I'm in Pulse and Pulse X, right at the beginning. This is a new layer 1, folks. And if you take a look at the far left here, this is number 4 chain. Look who's below us. Optimism, Polygon, Avalanche, Solana. Folks, Phantom. This isn't like, oh, we're way, 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 way down here at the bottom. We're not. I mean, at one point, I think we were 3rd. And so, or 2nd. Folks, the volume is incredible. It's growing like crazy. And to the point that I think Colette was asking is the fact that, think about this. We don't have a fiat on-ramp that's just super easy yet. It's coming. And to think that much economic energy has been pumped in through the bridge. folks, just get ready. Get ready. This is an incredible time to be alive. All right, we're going to continue in the chat, and then I'm going to share with you some details about, for those of you who are new or want to know more, feel free to ask any questions in the chat, but I'm going to go through Texan token again for folks so you understand what it's about, because it's exciting. It's exciting. First endowment contract on the blockchain. I thought y'all were going to do that Pulse Chain, that in Pulse Chain launch night. Oh, yeah. No, we weren't going to. Well, I think we talked about doing that. Ari, what's going on from the Philippines? Superman is in the house. Rag's even giving the shout out. I love coffee. Got me some 507 buys. Nice. Oh, and by the way, thanks to Samantha and Hexy Quinn and KD and Immutable and David Lee and all the great folks in the chat. They have decided, and I think it's a fantastic decision. Those of us who are in the Texan token have put a star in our Twitter handles and everywhere. So that's kind of the thing. And if you look into the Texan contract, you know how, Satoshis are the smallest value within Bitcoin. And in Hex, they're called hearts. Well, in our contract, they're called stars. And so that's for the Lone Star of Texas. And so we've added a star to our Twitter handle as a kind of a representative icon wherever we go. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to. Would love to have you and love to see you doing that as well. Basically, the old Holy Spirit decided to kick it up a notch, wrecked house and rearranged life, gave message to share. So I'm exploring that road. Wow. I'd love to hear that at some point in time. It's power, man. It's power. So Gnosis does not support Pulse Chain. That's not good. I wonder how everyone feels about that it's been in Staker app. There's got to be some more information on that, but I'm not the right guy to ask about that. CHB is arts and crafts king. Oh my gosh, that's great. PulseX V2. That's right. So V2 is out. Godfather J6, good to see you. Ramon Carrillo is back. What is going on? 59 people here. Hexy Quinn with the stars. Fantastic. It's so great to see it. Let people know about the Texas Star. Absolutely. What's up, Crispy? Huddle 609 was what is going on, my friend Samantha? Any of you that are in the Texan support team are welcome to join. You have a link in that chat if you'd like to be here. Hexagon Hill. I live in Bernie, Texas, and own Texan. You know what's great about Bernie? That's where Demolition Ranch is, right? Matt from Demolition Ranch. I love Bernie. It is the gateway to the hill country down there around the San Antonio area. Beautiful. One of the most beautiful places in Texas. So if you're looking to move to Texas, I recommend Bernie and all the hill country. It is gorgeous out there. What is going on, KD? Sandy Beach. What's going on? Clintrons. Hey, Crypto Stars. That's right. I'm thinking Pulse Chain, PulseX, Fortnite Duo in Dubai next month. That'd be incredible. There's a Hexagon who actually I talked to tonight, who is he is a TV and movie star, and his son is a professional Fortnite player, and he's actually in Dallas because his son is competing. I mean, he's on a professional team, and actually the big Fortnite, the next really big Fortnite competition or whatever they call it is in Dubai. So something that other people don't know. Tin Top, what's going on? When Texan Island. What's funny is we had a conversation with some folks that are in the Bahamas and talk about tokenizing communities. That's a pretty interesting conversation. So you're not far wrong, but Texas is we got all the land we need here. Great to catch you live. Thank you, Sandy Beach. What is up, Matt? Good to see you. Staker doesn't support Pulse Chain. It still stakes Hex, though, not Pulse. Pulse is the gas, okay? Texan Hexagon talking about Gen Con 2023. And if you are interested, that is our Generosity Conference that's being hosted on the 24th of June. And I will put up a banner for that. So thanks for reminding me to talk about that. On June 24th, we're going to have a one-day conference. It's being hosted by the Right Hand Foundation and Texan Token and Crypto Heartbeat and Rags to Riches. And we're going to be talking about generosity. We're going to be talking about this, how you deal with abundance. And we're going to be talking about how we work together in the, the spirit of the Compassion Cartel. And so that's going to be a great program. We got some great speakers lined up. Steve Staggs is going to be there, in fact. But on the 23rd, we're going to be having a meetup, which is going to be a Texan Hex, Pulse Chain, Pulse X meetup, and that's going to be in Houston. You can find out more information at the bottom of the GenCon2023.com page about that meetup. I think the tickets are $25. There's a full fajita meal. There's going to be entertainment. It's going to be like a meetup plus if you've been to them before. So really hope if you're in that area, you get a chance to come out. There's only 50 tickets available for Gen Con 2023. It's going to be a pretty intimate group, but some amazing people are going to be coming in. In fact, the team from Ophir, John Blaylock, the founder of Ophir, will be at Gen Con 2023. He is flying over from the Philippines to come to this event. And you need to meet John. He'll be at both the meetup and the conference. So it's going to be so great to see him there. So thanks for that reminder. What do we got here? Texaco, that's right. Moonrunner, what's going on? I'm a net uninstaller of Staker app. Alexandri. Naver, I apologize. Thanks for the 220, like the 22 there. I appreciate that. Thanks so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. Brandon, if you're going to be on the stream, you might as well come in and have a conversation with me. If you're going to be, up in the chat like this. David Feeder did a great instructional on Staker and Gnosis Safe to get all your airdrops. Absolutely. I don't know the status of that. I'm not a Staker app guy, but I'm sure there are challenges, but that actually, I know people want to get in and be able to view things, but you can always get a MetaMask wallet, obviously. But, accumulate. Awesome. We got people that'll be there. Thank you for being there. Gen Con, here we come. Fantastic. All right, so let's talk about Texan. So that's really the point of all of this. So for those of you who don't know, which you're pretty much under a rock if you haven't heard this before, but I'm going to say it again the best I can. So Brandon and I and the team are working together with a group of amazing people across the world to tokenize communities. And the tokenization of communities is really the inspiration of a couple things. I've been in the nonprofit space for the last 22 years. And when Richard Hart did the donation to the SENS Foundation, right? You could donate to the SENS Foundation, which was a nonprofit organization, and you would get points towards the Pulse sacrifice. And when I saw this happen and, $27 million was raised in like 90 days, I was like, this is incredible. This is an absolute innovation in fundraising. And so what did I do? I said, this is a powerful means by which organizations can tokenize. Well, Raoul Pal, who, some people like him, some people don't, but he's a macro guy, former Goldman Sachs guy. And I heard him talk, and I'd been watching him for a long time. And he was talking about the future of the blockchain being about tokenization of community. What does tokenization of communities mean? Social tokens. The hardest thing to do is not the technical side of creating cryptocurrency. The hardest thing is adoption, and adoption is driven by community, and community is based on trust. So if you have trust with people, well, who has that, right? If you look at Hex, it was organically grown. If it wasn't RG3 and Hexo and Coffee and all of these guys working together to basically shill this thing and tell people about it, it wouldn't have formed. Well, that's a miracle in and of itself. So instead of just saying, all right, instead of building it organically, what if you went to the places where there was already trust? What if people were already in community and cared about something? And so that's where this idea comes from. Our whole purpose in developing the first endowment contract on the blockchain is so that we can utilize that contract with communities who already have trust. And that's the core of what we're doing. So our first project is Texan. And so the Texas Nationalist Movement, by the grace of God, we convinced them to do this donation phase and be a part of tokenizing their community. 500,000 people in the Texas Nationalist Movement, they want to see Texas independent again. I would love to see that as well. Well, what does it take in order to accomplish that? Well, it takes money. And so if you're going to really impact politics, you've got to bring the money. Well, what if, and I don't know the future, but what if the people of the Texas Nationalist Movement had an experience like OG Hexicans did, a 10,000x in 623 days? What would that do for Texas politics? Well, then conversely, Ophir Crypto, right? This is the project that is at ophircrypto.com. I'm going to put up a banner for that. This is in its donation phase and will continue until July 4th. And this is an opportunity to address some significant issues as it relates to, people that are in poverty, people that are struggling in remote areas in the Philippines. And so this is more a philanthropic project, but essentially tokenizing the people that represent about 5,000 churches in the Philippines. And so a different area, right? A different, demographic, a different organization, but more philanthropic, not political. And so this is the next opportunity to tokenize a community. Well, why would you want to tokenize a community? Well, if in fact there's going to be CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, if there's going to be digital IDs, and if there is going to be a social credit score, and this is what the globalists and all these people are doing, authoritarians are doing, well, what is the antidote to authoritarianism? Well, it's independence. Well, what does the blockchain represent in its immutable form? The Richard Hart ecosystem is the representation, in my opinion, of the alternative to the CBDCs. And so our focus isn't just Texan, but it's about empowering communities that already exist that are sizable to literally see a way out of their situation. So we see this as an opportunity to use the blockchain to address some of the biggest challenges that exist in the world. Right now, Texan, it's politics. What would happen if Texas was independent? What would that look like? Well, it'd probably lead in the world. It's the 9th largest economy. Texas has unbelievable attributes as an independent nation, and it was an independent nation for 9 years, starting in 1836. So what's incredible about the utility, and everybody talks about utility, is we're attaching this to actual communities. Well, what's the challenge then? Education is the challenge. And so as we get started with Texan, we're now on the Pulse chain, which is so exciting. We're going to see the launch of Ophir Crypto after July 4th. And it's an opportunity for people to see a future where they don't have to be locked into some sort of government program, because that's where things are headed. And folks, this is really the time. So we're focused on, and we actually are in the process of basically building an ecosystem of these communities and tying them all together with a decentralized exchange, with an incentive token called Unifier. So we have a vision about tokenizing communities. Likely we will do, probably, if I had to guess, over the next 2 years, we'll probably do 5 more communities. But just imagine what that means for onboarding people into the Pulse Chain ecosystem. And to think that these people who have never heard of crypto are going to be actually welcomed into immutable contracts on the blockchain, no admin keys. They're not being brought into Celsius and FTX and BlockFi. And so, and things are changing dramatically. So, anyway, if you're interested in being a part of supporting um, an organization that is serving local churches, which really directly impacts things like food and health, not to mention just the very nature of the spiritual side of churches, they're serving the people that are widows and orphans and people that are in remote parts of the Philippines. And so it's a very good way, because when you give 100% of that money actually goes to those churches. And so that's what is the vision of John and the team at GemEffect, is to help these churches and resource these churches, but also to give them a future on the blockchain with an immutable contract. So each of those churches are going to actually receive a 22-year staked endowment. So it'll be automatically staked when it's given to them. And the beauty of that is, rewarding your future self. A lot of these folks don't understand blockchain, but boy, they'll be happy when they realize what they have in front of them. And so to have someone that's an advocate like John from Ophir, it's incredible. And so we're just going to continue to build. And as we continue to build, we know that these things will, they will grow, because people have to take responsibility for these things. And just like, Richard always says, there's no centralized organization, there's no company, there's no marketing department. It's the people who take responsibility for something because they realize it is an opportunity unlike any other opportunity they've ever experienced. And there's proof, right? There's proof. We see it with not only, Hex, of course, but we see it with everything from Bitcoin to Ethereum to, this is a unique time in human history where the gains are unusual, absolutely unusual. So anyway, so that's the overarching concept of what we're doing as a team. When it comes to Texan itself, the core of the contract's being used for each of these communities. So when you understand the Texan contract, you automatically understand the Ophir contract. So let me share with you the main points of what an endowment token is. So I'm going to go to the white paper. So if you go to Texan.cc and you click on the white paper and you scroll down, you can read this and it'll share with you all this information I'm sharing with you now. But when I watched Richard Hart and the thousands of hours, it seems like, of his live streams and communication, one of the first things he ever did was he was talking about Bitcoin Hex, which is what Hex was called before it was literally just Hex. And he was at a conference and he basically said, I've invented something that monetizes time. He said, if you're going to build a cryptocurrency, the first thing you should program in is interest. That's a direct quote from Richard. And so we recognized, all right, we want to avoid things like inflation bugs. So we actually embedded into the contract the interest. So it's embedded into the contract. And what that means is, unlike Hex, for example, where there's a variable T-share rate, you know exactly what Texan is going to do, because the base rate of, yield is 5%. So it never goes below 5%. So what you have is this opportunity to hold, and as you hold, 1 to up to 22 years, it increases in its yield that it provides to those who hold. But what's unique about that makes this an endowment is endowments are used by nonprofit organizations to create cash flow. And a nonprofit organization utilizes an endowment where they raise money, put it into an account, and then they invest that into all kinds of different investments. And it creates essentially interest income. That interest income and the intent of that endowment is to offset the cost of operations so that giving can go directly to those in need, and the covering of their operations happens from interest income. And so it's really about sustainability. And so in order for us to accomplish that concept of having cash flow, we had to put in scraping. Scraping is a unique part of the Texan token because at any point in time, you can scrape your interest at no penalty, but you're automatically put back to day one. So let's say you had a 22-year stake and you got through 10 years, or you had a 10-year stake and you got through 5 years. It accumulates. Year one's 5%, year two is 6%, year three is 8%, right? You add those up, right? So we're at 19% already. Well, let's say you get in a bind and you're like, hey, I need to scrape this interest. Well, your principal stake of 10 years does not change. You continue to, no penalty, you continue that timeline. But when it comes to the interest or the yield, you go back to day one. So it gives you the ability for people to literally get a large enough bag of Texan or Ophir and literally be able to determine based on the price and the 5% yield or whatever that you're building into your staking or scraping ladder, you can actually determine what would the cash flow look like if the price was this. And so if you were to add up all of this yield between year one and year 22, this is 1,881% interest. Well, where's that interest come from? Because it's locked in the contract and it can only be accessed through staking. So when you stake, you burn your tokens and you wait. And depending on how long you wait, if you fulfill the time period you said you would receive all of your principal and your interest. It would be minted back to you. And you do that yourself. And so very similar to how Hex, basically you burn and then you remint, same concept, but we've added scraping. Well, the scraping function enables you to draw off the interest at no penalty. So it gives you more flexibility and doesn't require us to have derivative products that enable you to essentially monetize, your stake. So as Hex reflects a CD, Texan token and our contract reflects an endowment because it's about having the option to be able to develop cash flow. And there are many people with a lot of different strategies when it comes to utilizing the contract, but some people are okay with just 5%. They're like, hey, I'll just get a big enough bag and I'll just scrape. I'll scrape monthly. I'll scrape quarterly. I'll scrape annually. Now, there are other people that are like, hold on a second. This is better than compounding. I'm going to put out, the staking ladder and a scraping ladder. And so there's a lot of different strategies, but I think it really depends on what you want to accomplish because you can create and set up as many stakes as you want. So if you wanted to, some people are like, well, I want to do it for my grandkids or let's say you had a new baby. I know somebody that did that. What would you do with that new baby? Well, you might say, all right, when this baby turns 18, I put away $100 and let it ride. Something, there's a lot of things you can do. So the nice thing about the blockchain and these immutable contracts is you have the freedom to do what you want to do. And hopefully these tools within the blockchain and this ecosystem enables you to accomplish what you want to accomplish. But I think the great thing about it is this is the beginning. And it's the beginning of something that will be here forever. I mean, it'll outlive us because we cannot change the contract. There are no admin keys. We can't change anything. And so this just operates. And so, I think in the early days of Hex, for example, when there weren't a whole lot of streamers, there were a couple guys out there and I was watching Hexo and I think, you know what? There was an entire year prior to Big Payday. Folks, we've only been around for what? 120 days. We got now a new layer one and we're at the bottom of the bear market. I mean, once you're at the bottom, there's only one place to go and that's up. So it's an exciting time for like a ton of different reasons. I'm super thankful. And to me, this is an opportunity for us to give back and unlock abundance by going to communities where trust already exists and bringing those people essentially into crypto. And it's actually, if you really want to boil it down, we're taking crypto to communities of trust. If they see it, it's potentially life changing. And so what would it look like if we had regular people who had an abundance? I have a feeling that we wouldn't wage war. We would serve each other in community and we'd care for the people that we love. And so that's the essence of it. I'd be happy to answer any questions about Texan. The Ophir contract is the same contract. It's obviously the name's changed. There's very little differences, and that's actually in the process of being audited by CertiK right now. we'll have that audit back, I assume, very, very soon. And then we've got the finish out the donation phase. So if you're somebody who missed Pulse or Pulse X, or you missed Texan, you have the opportunity. If you go to ophircrypto.com, they're in that process of the donation phase currently. All right, get back into the chat, and maybe Rags or somebody wants to come in and say hello. We'll see. We'll see if he comes in and says hello. This would be your cue, Brandon. Paul, what's going on, Paul? Good to see Matt, Rags, and the rest of the Texan fam. Currently preparing some Meat Church shotgun shells for the smoker. I think those are jalapeno, bacon wrapped jalapeno. Meat Church, man. There's nothing like having the meat sweats. David Lee knows all about that. So Ophir is extended. Its donation phase is extended to July 4th. And so after July 4th is when that would actually officially launch on the Pulse chain. And it's going to be on 2 chains. We're debating right now, because out in the East, more people use Binance than they do Ethereum. And so because of the high gas fees on Ethereum, we're considering actually having Ophir on Pulse chain and Binance Smart Chain. Anyway, that's a conversation we'll talk about and give you more information. Roof Dog, good evening to you, my friend. Bearded Saint is back. Hexagon Hill, can someone share the address for the Texan for me? Absolutely. Pulse Former, what's going on, man? So is Freedom Swap still in the vision? Absolutely. So Freedom Swap, the whole point of this is we want to have a decentralized exchange for all these new people we're bringing into crypto. We want them to have a place to transact where when they utilize that decentralized exchange and they are staked with Texan or Ophir or another project of ours, they get to claim the Unifier token. And what's great about that is it will have buy and burn, right? The protocol fees go right to buy and burn the Unifier token. There's some things we got up our sleeve there. I literally talked to Brandon today about the strategy around Freedom Swap and Unifier, but we got some things up our sleeves that we'll share with you. But right now, not fully baked. But yes, we are. We will have a DEX, and we will have an incentive token, and we will have additional communities. And then there's a couple other amazing things that are going on that I can't even talk about. Samantha's got the contract. The way I always know what the contract is, I always look for the 22, the 77, and the 88. Sam Camp from the back porch. Good to see you. Jesse Jensen, what's going on? See you at Gen Con. Thanks for being there. Make sure you get your tickets because I literally, a lot of the food and everything that's being prepared is going to be, driven by that. There are only 50 tickets. Obviously, spouses are welcome as well. There is a lower cost fee for spouses if you want to bring a spouse. And I know that Sam Kemp is, so we want to have a little bit of a discount if you're bringing a spouse. But it's going to be a good time. It's going to be deep and intimate, which is going to be fantastic. Pulse Former, what's going on, dude? 21st Dimension, hello, how are you? Uncle Will, Hexagon Hill, Texan.cc. Glad it was extended, absolutely. And it's, with the way things are going in the bear market, getting the word out, honestly, we need to be sharing Ophir more on our channels and really sharing that with people. I just saw yesterday that 9inch.io, which is a DEX, it's a V2 fork of, I think it's Pancake Swap. A whale gave them $1.1 million. And that's for a DEX that is referencing the male anatomy, which, obviously if you're into that kind of humor, but I look at the humanitarian philanthropic work that's going, and it's just a matter of sharing that with people and making sure we have enough time, especially for the folks in the Philippines to understand what they have in front of them as well. So I love what's going on with Pulse Chain. Very bullish. I am as well. It's really cool though. if you were around during, the early days of Hex, and I wasn't there obviously until right before Big Payday, there was so much FUD. I mean, the miracle of Hex getting to where it is, I mean, this is nothing. I mean, there's people like, oh, yeah, your chain failed or whatever. And it's like, well, uninformed people are everywhere. But it's just not the same kind of FUD. And to see the amount of volume, and we're in a very different spot than what Hex was at similar times. And that is really exciting. So, yeah, I'm as bullish as I've ever been and just excited that it's here. Good to see you, Sheriff. Thanks for coming in, and awesome to hear your transformation and your calling and anointing, man. I thankful with you. Now I have the confirmation it's you behind Texan token. I'm going to get some. We'll replay the start of the video later. Hey, man, there you go. It's funny. I've only done 500 videos, and Brandon's only done probably 500 videos. And what's awesome about it is there's new people every time. So welcome, 21st Dimension. So glad to see you, and thanks for being here. Yeah, things are going well. It reminds me exactly what happened with Hex. And I think that's one of the cool things is that, think about what Richard Hart's message was to people when he first came out with Bitcoin Hex. He said, I'm going to create a better Bitcoin. I mean, think about the time, right? 2019, think about what was happening, after the crash, everybody, so many people lost so much. And here's Richard Hart coming out. I'm building a better Bitcoin. That's about the most aggressive and disruptive thing you could possibly say. And he did it. I mean, that's the incredible thing about it. But he went directly at it and received all the arrows. This is a different time in crypto. It's a different time, and people's understanding is different. And when you do this world's largest airdrop, it just shows me what a genius Richard Hart is, because he literally is an innovator. I mean, the way in which he's created the deflationary aspects, the fact that he's got buy and burn with PulseX, the world's largest airdrop, copying over the system state, what a genius move. And then to have all this liquidity. And folks, it's just getting started. I mean, there are challenges just getting through the bridge. Imagine when we've got fiat on ramps. Imagine when this, and it's so early, so early. So this is the time. Brandon always says, this is the time to accumulate DCAing. Hey, this is the opportunity. Once again, God sees you at the corner of his eye. Oh, but way much more positive. Well, we got purpose. I mean, what's the utility of the Texan token? Perhaps birthing a new nation. If nothing else, a tool that's another immutable contract that can help you get where you're going and onboard people into Pulse Chain. That's how I see it. We need to get you a better cap. It's funny. This is my kid's school hat, and it's got the location of my kid's school. I had to cover it up. It's not me needing a new hat. It's like I had this hat. I'm like, I got to cover that up or I'm going to dox my kids. So sorry, you have to look at that. Adam, what's going on? Good to see you. Well, folks, thanks for joining in tonight. I'd be happy to answer any questions and stick around a little bit longer here, but I just, I'm really thankful for our community. We have the greatest team, the absolute greatest team. And a lot of credit goes to Brandon. Brandon has been on the ground, in the weeds, and some of the greatest people, David Lee, Immutable, Samantha, Hexaquin, KD, Robert. I mean, I can't list them all. Amazing group of people. Forrest, doing the Texan tailgate, doing all the stuff on the Twitter. It's so nice to see a group of people come together and understand that we're winning together. And it's great to have people that have different gift set, right? The ability to execute, the ability to lead, the ability to work well together. That's what it's about, folks. This is our opportunity to work together and win together. And I feel like our team embodies that so much. And you come into the chat, into the Telegram, and I really encourage you to join t.me/Texan token. Come into the Telegram. I swear it's the best service I've ever seen when it comes to asking questions about something. I mean, when I first got into Hex and I jumped into the Hex Telegram, I was asking some pretty legitimate questions, and people were just ripped me to shreds. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to be Crypto Heartbeat, man. They had no idea. And it was not for Ryan Hungate. He was my first friend in the Hex chat, and he is one of our lead devs. So it's amazing. It is amazing how these things work out. But we got a great team. We got a lot of great support from a lot of significant players in crypto. We're on 2 chains, and it's going well. So thank you all for what you do. I just encourage you, whatever it may be, you got to pick a horse to ride. And so we're trying to make sure that we got a horse you can ride, and many of them, and bring as many people as we can to have the life-changing impact of and the freedom and sovereignty that is associated with immutable contracts on the blockchain. No admin keys, censorship resistant, no counterparty risk. This is our opportunity to take back the financial system. And there's nothing greater than the blockchain to do that. But amazingly, even though it's trustless, the core reason that it works is because of the community, and that's based on trust. So thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for caring for other people. Thank you for contributing to this, because this is no one can do it alone. No one can do it alone, and it's the most condensed and concentrated hope that I've ever seen. And boy, we need that these days with what's going on in this world. Do you realize PLS is cheaper than Ethereum? There you go. Well, what is that? 1.2 million to 1 was the dilution on that. Rags is the man. Best Telegram group ever. Hex Force One, absolutely. And Hexy Quinn is in there as well. It's fantastic. It's just amazing. Great people. No brainer. Torin, what's going on? Nico, good to see you. We're blessed to have you both. Thanks, Matt and Rags. Well, big thanks to Rags. He doesn't like to receive the thanks, so you kind of, when he's not on, you can say nice things about him, and he doesn't get all bashful and red. But, you know, he puts in the time and the effort, and he cares. I mean, there's a lot that he does that you don't see. He's got a big old ginger heart, folks. It is awesome to be together with people who care. It's a great community, absolutely. To be able to buy in 2023 a layer 1 at the price of a meme coin. There you go. That's so great. That is so great. It's so true, too. I mean, just take a look at layer 1s. I mean, just hang on. I remember when I first considered starting a channel, I remember saying, you know what? This opportunity, somebody asked Richard at one of those, I think it was when he's traveling across Europe in the Ferrari, and they asked him, hey, can Pulse Chain do a 10,000x? And he's like, yeah, there's no reason it can't. It's got all the same, pump fundamentals. And here we are. Waited 2 years for it, and it's finally here. It's surreal. It's odd. It's so weird. But we had a good time celebrating that, and now we get to wait. So we're gonna keep you entertained and informed and encouraged in this process of waiting together. But I look forward to seeing you if you're coming to the meetup on the 23rd of June, or you're coming to Gen Con, or both. I hope Rags is going to be there. I don't have full, confirmation there. I know we're going to see John and Doc Vince from the Ophir team, David Lee. We're going to see, Sam Kemp, Texican Hexican, the only one will be there. Some amazing people. Hex Monkey's going to be there. So get your tickets. You can go to GenCon2023.com and check that out. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Texan is game changing on many different letters. Redder, absolutely, definitely redder. Yeah, Rags does the heavy lifting. He's the big brother. He's everybody's big brother, Sam. He's even your big brother. He's going to watch out for you like a big brother. Everybody needs a big brother. You know what I'm saying? Bring it on. Folks, thanks for joining the Pulse this evening from the porch here in Central Texas. Thank you for all you do. I'd encourage you, breathe life into people, encourage people, be positive. Don't put a gun to people's head in the foxhole. Don't participate in the FUD. Hang on. Don't nuke your account. All those things that Rag says. But it is so... it's an honor to be a part of this with you. And the things that we're working on and the opportunities that we've been afforded, I just can't wait to share with you the news as we journey together. Take care of yourself, folks, and take care of each other. And do not mess with Texas. We'll see you guys.